Hello, my name is Margaret, and today I'd like to talk about constructive learning environments, online collaborative learning, and teamwork ideas for better workflow. This is my final class in the Information Design and Strategy program at Northwestern University. I've learned a great deal and also learned how we learn. While studying constructivist learning environments in the Intro to Learning Theory class, I thought it would be interesting to look at the experiences I've had at Northwestern in the last 3 years, working on asynchronous online team projects. What worked well? What didn't work as well? And if I were starting the IDS classes now, what advice would I give students just starting in the program? This presentation has 4 parts. First, I'll review constructive learning environments and online collaborative learning. Next, I'll touch on the advantages and drawbacks of online collaborative learning. In the third part, I'll share some ideas of how online teams can collaborate more effectively. These are ideas drawn from my experience here. Finally, I'll conclude with thoughts about the next steps. First, it's important to reflect on what constructivism is and its basic principles. This chart from Learning Theory and Technology defines constructivism as participating in authentic experiences, interpreting the meaning of these experiences, and negotiating shared meaning with others. In constructivism, learning is therefore a personal and social process, building knowledge through active engagement. Online collaborative learning is part of the constructivist theory. So, in constructive learning environments, the student's role is to engage in real problems, collaborate with others, and find solutions for those problems. The instructor's role is to give feedback instead of a lecture based format. The instructor also helps students identify the problem they're facing. So, a challenge in the online collaborative learning environment is how do we collaborate effectively in an asynchronous work environment? Online collaborative learning is a form of constructivist teaching that takes the form of instructor led group learning online. But students are also empowered to be their own teachers, to motivate, organize, delegate, and execute projects together. When they aren't sharing a space, how does this work get done? Online collaborative learning theory was developed by Linda Harrison in Vancouver in 2012. Learners work together, constructing plans, developing explanations for phenomena. The 3 phases of knowledge construction in online collaborative learning are idea generating, idea organizing, and intellectual convergence. Let's take a closer look. In the idea generating phase, a team or a group brainstorms different opinions and ideas, collecting them together. In the idea organizing phase, comparison and categorization happens through discussion and sometimes argument, and editing out of weaker concepts happens. The third phase is intellectual convergence, where decisions are made on what the group will move forward with and produce work on together. This cycle can repeat until possible applications reach group consensus. So, what are some advantages of OCL? It's student driven and student centered. Asynchronous learning is flexible. Students can study and produce content when it suits them, where it suits them, using technology from work or from home. Classmates can be from diverse locations around the country or around the world. Commuting time to a brick and mortar school is eliminated. and online meetings can be recorded and shared later. In tech-enabled learning, students and technology engage as cognitive partners. What are some of the drawbacks of online collaborative learning? Asynchronous learning has some stumbling blocks. First, in a project timeline, sometimes too much time is lost waiting for all team members to weigh in or vote on a decision, such as regarding what the problem is they are solving for, before moving forward, and production time is shortened as a result. Next, instructor assessment. How does the instructor know who completed work and who did not? Last, work balance. Equal contribution by all team members leads to stronger results. Silence can lead to tension and uncertainty, which inhibits productivity and team morale. So let's look at some improvements that can be made. Using my experiences working on projects in the past, 4 principles of good teamwork stood out: communicate, delegate, timeline management, and identify skill sets. In our own workplaces, separate from online learning, coworkers are assigned roles and have had workflow guidance set up as part of onboarding and division protocol. It's important to use elements of what works there to make online learning more effective here. That way, we can build a stronger online team from the start of each project. First, communicate. From the start, teams need to determine how they'll work together asynchronously by setting up meetings that coincide before deadlines and agreeing on what methods they'll use to keep in touch. Slack channels, Google Hangout, Google Docs, and Zoom calls all work well. Email is a more passive formal method that might not reach people quick enough and might not be best for short projects of 1 to 2 weeks. Second, delegate. The most successful teams make the choice to assign roles within the team at the beginning of a project, what each person will do. For example, a facilitator can step forward to set up conference calls and create the project timeline. A scribe takes notes during team meetings, such as in a Google Doc, and disperses them after. Some or all of the team can contribute to a production and content generation phase, and then 1 or 2 can act as an editor to refine the content and check it for grammar and tone. This can also be the person who submits the document. Third, identify skill sets. When a team is discussing their project, each person needs to declare what each will do as their piece of the puzzle, what baton they will carry. This decision is influenced by the time they have available, the part they know how to do well right now, and also what they're willing to learn to produce a successful project. Many people come to the IDS program wanting to build on skills or learn skills that they don't have yet. So if taking online learning tutorials, a type of informal learning, will help the team, then that can be folded in as well and included in the schedule. Fourth, timeline management. Awareness of and sticking to a schedule is important. This involves where each person can contribute to the project. At the start, throughout the timeline, or perhaps only at the end. Internal deliverables are a baton handed off to the next person on the team. Honesty is important regarding one's time commitment and availability. Silence just delays the schedule. In conclusion, learning is an iterative process, a give and take between learning theories and putting them into practice. With all the advances of technology we use today to learn together online, experience is still the best teacher. While some of these ideas I'm sure are familiar, applying all of them would have a great impact on how a team project turns out. With each project, you'll work with different people with diverse skill sets from different disciplines and backgrounds, which will combine to create projects that wouldn't be possible without their skills and yours.